Alright guys, so quick update, then it's been a while since I've uploaded anything. No, the axle in this truck is not done. It is a aluminum rod I shoved in there just to see what it looks like with tires. And they do not want to stay on there very well. They come out, they poke out just a little bit, so it looks like slight stance in this thing. The front suspension is not done, but I do have that hooked up to the servo at least. What do I mean hooked up to the servo? I mean, the steering rod is actually attached to the servo. The other side is attached to a homemade servo horn. But we have, hold on, scale detail on this with the latch on here. Okay, it still opens. And there's also a slight window frame back there. There's no window in it, but there's a window frame at least. It also sets somewhat level on the box itself. Kind of. I haven't really been able to afford to do much, but I'm actually waiting on parts to do something for the Camaro. I have started work on what I'm going to be doing as custom axles for this thing, which will eventually get changed, but this is basically the angle it's going to sit at. And yes, I melted the fuck out of this piece of pipe. This is a disaster, I know. I have a mini torch somewhere, that is what I was using. I lost a mini torch. God damn it. Oh, it's right here. Mini torch. It's great at melting plastic. And also burning the fuck out of it. But I have cut basically the pumpkin off of this differential, of this rear axle, which is actually quite large because it hold on. The pumpkin itself, it takes up the palm of my hand, and I don't have small hands. I have man hands. I also made a toolbox. There's a lid for it somewhere. I don't know where the fuck the lid went. Like at all. Tonneau cover taken off, it's just sitting against the wall. Actually, it's probably sitting on a lid for it. Or not. I don't know the lid went for that. There's a lid for it. Oh. Lid's over here. It's getting hinges, just haven't done it yet. So this now has so far 3 different accessories. A topper, which I might be angling this more fit the roof line. Tonneau cover and toolbox. They're all getting painted at some point. I also went and painted the frame to match the truck body. I think this thing is so large I had to literally hang it from a tree to be able to paint it. Next thing we'll be doing is actually making a slight door frame for these. And I have noticed the doors are loose and it actually is like pulling the body apart. So I see spots where the glue didn't dry. You can see the frame painted inside there. There it goes. And this is what the door panels look like. I do have a wood sticker, but I'm actually going to do this and this part in. And then I'm probably going to paint the rest with a brush at some point. I have paint somewhere. These are probably going to get redone because I've noticed they hit the interior tub too much. Or, I'll leave it like that, and just because it holds the steering tub somewhat in place. I did some slight reworking of the fenders on this side more than the other side. But I tried to fill in the gaps a little better. I was thinking redoing the fenders could make it more realistic looking towards what this truck is based off of, but I think it looks fine as is. Y'all probably didn't see a word of that because not word of that. Y'all probably didn't see any of that because I was too close. I reworked the fender a little bit. I thought about redoing the fender, but then I realized, it's fine. It's a dual layer. It's probably gonna get smacked around a few times. I did notice I have holes in it, filling with glue, stuff like that. Nice little hole there and up there. I cut this piece in half to redo the top part of it. So yeah, that's about it. Really haven't done anything the last couple weeks. I just started this thing last night. And then it's been like an hour or 2 at a time waiting for glue to dry. Which it's still wet in some spots up here. The glue is still wet up in spots up in here. keep losing shit. But the floor is getting painted, and these spots by the fender wells are getting filled in at some point. Let's see if the paint. That's what it looks like. Oh, another thing. I also put a brace in the front of the bumper, which I can show that. After moving the truck around, you can kind of see it in there. The body now sits on top of it. And it's stuck. Okay, before I make a whole bunch of noise, I'm going to pull it off. Oh, also, before anybody comments that I painted the servo wires, both these servos are dead. They're literally just mock-up. So I don't care. You can see what I mean by the one screws straight to the servo. That one's got the servo, homemade servo horn on it, which does, by the way, work. And somehow clearances that one. Barely, but it does. Suspension semi-painted. Definitely could use a respray on that. But this is what I mean by the bumper plate. This thing here. It's screwed into the corners. Basically compressed into it by these two here. Which go to this servo mount here. What this will do is it'll actually protect the truck from corner impacts. Then just kind of stiffen up the centerpiece here, even though it was already a little stiff because of shit screwed to it. You'll also notice how it was missing a fender well. It's too narrow. So this one's getting redone, made wider. I'm also actually going to screw these to this plate, which is also what this is going to do. It's going to stiffen these up a little bit, even though this one's a little stiff due to paint, I think. Or friction, one of the two. Not entirely sure yet. Oh, it's stuck by friction. It's on there by friction. And it's a slight amount of paint. Oh, the whole frame is done in this color, which I can even see on the cameras has some sparkle to it. For anybody wanting to know what this color is, it is oil-coated bronze. And I originally had bought 4 cans of this to paint the tires on my car, rims on my car, whatever you want to call them. And then I ended up only actually needing 1 can, I think, or it was less than 1 can, to put like 5 coats of paint on the rims, on all 4 of them. Stuff came out a little thick, so it wasn't like I had to just each time. It was like kind of sprayed in spots. It didn't drip. It came out kind of thick. Covered the rims immediately. I just went more layers to thicken it. No, that's what I mean by the window thing, though. It's just an opening. I think it's mostly center. I am noticing now looking at this side's a little wider. This one's a little bigger than that one, but oh well. You're not entirely going to see that much. But I did end up taking a junk electric weed whacker apart, and it actually had a 775 motor in it. So technically I have 3 775 motors now. I'm just only going to be using one of them that I have. The one's not junk. The other one is junk now because I snipped the wires off it. Trying to unclip them. You can also see how many times I've had to readjust my control arms by the holes. This is something else that was mounted here at one point. It's not there anymore, obviously. That concludes the video of this. Suspension still works, by the way. Obviously, I need to adjust how my thing sits on the thing, though. It's pulling like that. It angles in a little bit. It's just more shit that's gonna get figured out on this truck. I'm not even gonna say like and subscribe because I don't get views in these videos. And honestly, these videos are probably gonna get deleted at some point anyway. So, peace.